So here we learn how to find the kth percentile of a data set. So as a notation, a kth percentile is having a notation P sub k, a capital P sub k. And so a lot of time, instead of saying kth percentile, I can just simply say P sub k. So now we're gonna look at some example here. To find a k percentile, any kth percentile or any P sub k, what you need to do is you have to find a locator. So we need to find a locator, and the locator is symbolized by a capital letter L. It's notated by a capital letter L. And so here's the formula to find a locator. We have k over 100 multiplied with n, where n is the total number of data values on your list. And then there are two cases happening. After you compute the L value, if L is a whole number, L can be a whole number, or the L value can be L is not a whole number, meaning L might have decimal point values. So in case L is a whole number, what you need to do is you're gonna find the Lth value on the list, and you average that with the L plus 1th value on your list, and we divide the sum of that by 2. That gives you your P sub k, which is the kth percentile. When L is not a whole number, then what you need to do is round L. We always round L to the nearest integer above. So always we round L to the nearest integer above. That's the case where your computed L value is not a whole number. So this is the general guide of what to do here. We can now go ahead and get started. And once you found L, an actual L for your locator, then in the case where L is not a whole number, your kth percentile is going to be just simply the x of L, the Lth item, the Lth value on the list. So that's how we can find the P sub k, or the kth percentile. So in the first example, of course, we are looking at data set 1. Okay, so here, if we're looking at data set 1, and here's how it happened. Let's say we want to find P sub 27. Okay, so the formal name, we want to find the 27th percentile. So that's basically the idea of the problem. So now the locator is, to find a locator, you need to do always you need to find a locator before you can actually find the 27th percentile. So the locator is going to be found by doing 27 divided by 100 times 40. Now 40 is the total number of data values on my list for data set 1. So in data set 1 I have 40 pieces of data, and so here that's why I multiply by 40. So now my locator turns out to be, as I multiply, it turns out to be 10.8. And so this locator that I have ran into is not a whole number, so I always round it up. So I round, and I always round up to the nearest integer above, so that of course would bring me to L equals 11. So my locator L equals 11. So now 11 here is telling me the number L equals 11 tells me that on my list of the data set 1 I have to locate my 11th value. So my 11th value is going to be my P sub 27, or my 27th percentile is going to be my 11th value on the list, and that would be according to my list, that would be 6 equals 68. And so 68 is my 27th percentile. And so that's how you find that in part A. So another example for you to get comfortable. So I'm going to call that example 1, but part B. So we're looking at example 1, part B. Still in data set 1, we want to find how about P sub 63, or basically we're looking at we're trying to find the 63rd percentile. Okay, so now once again we need to find a locator, and we need to go 63 divided by 100 times 40, and the locator this time would give me, so 63 divided by 100, okay, and that multiply with 40, that gives me 25.2. So now with this problem here, if you try to comply with the rounding methods, then that's not how we do it. Here, remember, the rule here is whenever your locator run into a decimal point value like this, similar to this, you always round up to the nearest integer above. So here, of course, you're going to round to 26 actually, instead of 25 as the usual rounding method. So your 63rd percentile is going to be my 26th data value on the list, and that's how I can find it. And so on my list, my 26th value would be, so that 38, that's 9. So that would be equals to 76, and that is how I find my 63rd percentile. Okay, so now let's look at example number 2. We're actually still finding percentile. Okay, find on data 1. Okay, and part A of example 2, we would like to find we want to find the 15th percentile, or this is the formal name this time. The notation for that is P sub 15. Okay, so once again, to find that 15th percentile, what you need to do, find a locator, and the locator is to be done by 15 divided by 100 times 40, and this time it's going to give me, so 15 divided by 100 is a 0.15, and we times 40, and that equals 6. So now your locator this time turns out to be a whole number. So according to the general guideline, you're going to look for the 6th data item on the list, the 6th data value on your list, on your data set. You're going to add that to the next one up, so the 7th data value. So you're going to find the 6th and the 7th data value. We need to add those two values and divide it by 2, and that's how you can find the 15th percentile. And so my 6th data value on the list would be 64 plus 64 again, and divided by 2. So really my 15th percentile is equal to 64. Okay, and one more problem before I conclude the lesson here. So how about we find the 85th percentile, okay, or P sub 85. Okay, so once again we need to find a locator. So in any of these P subscript, some number in some, or generally when we try to find any kth percentile, you always need to find a locator. So here my locator is obtained by 85 over 100 times 40. And so that math is going to give me 0.85 times 40. Okay, and that is going to be 34. Alright, and so now 34 is only a locator, is where I can locate. 34 is the positions on the list, on the data set, where I can locate my my 85th percentile. So, and of course, as far as this point, you can start seeing you can already see for yourself that if you want to proceed into any percentile problem, you need to put your data in order so that you can find these, because these locator only good if you put your after you put your data set in order. So now the 34th on your list, the 34th data item would be your 34th data item. So So fine.